Hey, good evening. Dave First here with some of my friends at Decatur Central High School. Crazy time, week 6. We kind of like week 6 around here. Friday football. Friends, you guys ready? It starts now!
Get ready. It's time for the action-packed excitement of Indiana high school football.
We're going to still run the ball.
From the Indy Channel, WRTV6 Sports presents Friday Football Frenzy.
Yes, indeed. Good evening. Welcome to the week we're kind of partial to around here. Week 6 of Friday Football Frenzy. Michael Grady, Brad Brown, Dave Marin all be along here in just a bit. Another big week for matchups. Another big week for storylines as well. But we begin with our HTSN Mick game of the week. Pike at 6'8", number 7, Warren Central. And the guy to keep an eye on was senior running back Jay Coe. 200 yards, 4 touchdowns against Ben Davis last week. Had more in store tonight. But Pike gets on the board first. Eric Hawthorne and Michael Cheeseborough, 19-yard touchdown. Pike played him. Well, they knotted up in the first half. It was all tied at 14 at the break. Third quarter, troubles for Coe, hit by Juan Duncan. Ball pops out. Warren turnover led to a Hawthorne keeper. Pike up 21-14 to start the third, and Warren made it 21-20. But Zach Sumeyer buys a little time, finds Coe wide open to the 9, led to a 2-yard Terry Hart touchdown. Warren retakes the lead, 28-21. Then Coe again, gone. 45-yard touchdown, 4th of the night. Warren's up 35-21 to end the third. Ensuing kick, how about onside? Somewhere, Pat McAfee's enjoying this one. Perfect execution there by Shuler Nerick. Start of the 4th, Sumeyer with the keeper, scores 25 unanswered to the Warriors. Coe had 5 touchdowns. Warren wins it 49-21. That's 4 straight wins for Warren. And the key, Coach West?
Our resiliency. We're pretty banged up, and a lot of kids are stepping up, and we're finding a lot of different football players, which is great for the program. And it says a lot about our kids. Our kids have a next man up, mentality, and I really appreciate that about them. And they don't feel sorry for themselves. They just keep hacking away at that tree, and and I think that can make us a really good team.
Well, we'll stay in the mix tonight. Third-ranked Carmel hosting North Central. All Greyhounds tonight. Michael Victrip, Jalen Walker sidesteps the defense into the end zone. Part of a 51-0 win for the Greyhounds as they improve to 4-2 on the season. Hey, speaking of Carmel, we'll see the Greyhounds next week. It's part of our HTSN Mick Game of the Week coverage. Greyhounds visiting Ben Davis. Yep, a rematch of last year's 6A state championship game. Pregame begins at 6:30. Greg Rakestraw, Mark Janes, then have the call at 7 only on HTSN. So what about number 1 Center Grove? The Trojans already have wins over Warren Central at Ben Davis, but CG had their hands full tonight on the road at Lawrence Central. Brad Brown back with that one. Hi, Brad.
Hey, Dave. Good evening. CG's 2 closest games were on the road at Warren and at Carmel tonight. They made a trip to LC, and the Bears showed us once again how any team in the MIC can be right there with any of them on any night. Lawrence Central scored the first 12 points tonight. CG did get a touchdown right before the half. Got it to 12-7. Then they dominated the third and fourth quarters. Watch this run after a catch by Titus McCoy. He's still going. He's still going. Breaks a tackle and another. Finally brought down just across midfield. Trojans would drive it down the field and set up this touchdown run coming back the other way to open the fourth quarter. Jackson Holt to the far sideline. With that, hangs on to it. CG goes from down 12 to up 12. A lot more scoring after that, though. And we're going to take a look at Holt once again. He gets loose for another touchdown run. There he goes. LC managed a couple of late scores, but Center Grove comes back, hangs on for a 44-26 win. The Trojans host Pike next Friday. We started my evening up at Fishers. We had a fun night up there for our pregame coverage. Tigers getting the early edge in this one. Quarterback Zach Eaton going way up top. RJ Potts going up top as well. Makes a nice catch there. Fishers had the early edge. Time to pass the Santa. That's what they do on the touchdowns up there at Fishers. But Brandon Peters getting it done again for Avon. TD pass to Austin Griffin. They would do that again later. Peters also ran for a TD. Griffin also had an interception. Orioles win 36-14. They had 458 total yards offense. Both those teams are now 4-4. 4-2. A couple other winners to note tonight. 5A number 1 New Pell scored 70 again in their win over Greenfield. Chittard over Noblesville 18-16, and Eastern Hancock number 2 in 2A. They are 6-0 after a 42-18 win over North Decatur. By the way, Avon is home against Westfield next week. As for the Shamrocks tonight, back to Dave.
We should play Pass the Sand in the sports office, I'm thinking. Why not? Hey, back to the HCC. Westfield, so good at their new stadium. 5A number 6 hosting Brownsburg tonight. Bulldogs looking good on the road. Hunter Johnson and Michael Folks. Nice catch as he falls down in the end zone. Brownsburg up 7. Then right before the half, same duo again. Johnson, Folks, pretty much the same play. 42 yards this time. Big win for Brownsburg on the road. 59-30, just their second victory of the season. And not that we take requests. Okay, maybe actually we do. But the great kids at Decatur Central were all over Twitter. Can you come see the Hawk Block this week? Well, tonight, wish granted. With photographer Jason Strong and pilot Tony Scott, it's week 6 of our Friday Football Frenzy Flylights.
Sunset over Indy. Quite a view to wrap up the week. And the weather, well, no need for AC, but we do have DC. Decatur Central and the Hawks don't waste any time. Bryce Jefferson rolls out. It's Calvin Thomas for the touchdown. DC up 14-0. By the way, DC hosting Plainfield tonight. They'd already won the last 2 against the Quakers and frankly, just trying to keep pace in the Mid-State Conference. Plainfield comes storming back. Dylan Foster with an 18-yard run. Then freshman quarterback Ben Slayton goes up top to Dante Keys. 11-yard touchdown. Quakers within 7. Okay, sure, we came for the game, but I think we're going to stay for the Edwards Drive-In Tenderloins. How long have you had these guys here now?
About 5 years.
5 years. All right, hang on. Oh, yeah, I'm out. The rest of the show is yours. Here you go.
Okay,
Take the mic.
I got it. See ya.
Here comes DC again. And how about the moves by sophomore Tyrone Tracy? He's getting looks from Notre Dame and a look at a 20-yard touchdown. Decatur Central wins it 35-14. To Monrovia, where that M might be a W at the end of the night, hosting 4-1 Beech Grove. Tell you what, Monrovia loves their football, even at halftime of tonight's game. Still playing football, all thanks to the Indiana Special Olympics. Great time here in Monrovia. In fact, the Bulldogs, they're going to crank up the third quarter. They're up 38-14 on Beech Grove. But the Dogs a little slow out of the gate in the second half. Jaden Ray fumbles, recovered by the Hornets. Then there's this. On 4th and 8, the Grove's Chase Andrews scrambles, buys time, finds Montrez Huron for an 18-yard touchdown. Beech Grove back in business. By the way, it's America night here. Here you guys go! But these Dogs have bite. Garrison Lee with his 3rd touchdown of the night. And as we leave, 6 more for good measure. Monrovia wins 57-28 to wrap up week 6 of Friday Football Frenzy Flylights.
Always a blast. Thanks to everyone. So Michael Grady and I are standing outside the Colts locker room Monday when head coach Chuck Pagano says his team couldn't beat Zionsville right now. And I'm thinking, you might be right. Zionsville's pretty good, Coach. Tonight, the Eagles hosting Hamilton Southeastern. Michael, back with the highlights.
Yes, Dave. Yeah, Pagano's comments were the talk all week in Zionsville, but they would have their hands full against the Royals. More on that in a moment. But first, we're going to begin at Western Boone. Yes, the home of the Stars taking on Frankfort. Beautiful sunset this evening. Perfect night for homecoming. And the Hot Dogs fell victim to some home cooking this evening. First quarter, Nathaniel Bai finds Caleb McCloskey for the touchdown. Stars up 7-zip. Frankfort trying to tie things up on 4th and goal, and Western Boone gets the stop. Huge play right there. Later, Bai is going to hand it off to Logan Marsh, who gets in for the score. Dominant performance from the home team. Western Boone goes on to win 24-zip. Let's go to Zionsville now. And if the Colts would have lost to Zionsville Monday night, then they would have lost to Hamilton Southeastern too. HSC led 35-0 with 6 minutes still remaining in the first half. That's the backup quarterback, Adam Mullet, with a nice pass to Jay Conrad. Later, the Royals still driving, and we have a fumble. scooped up by the Eagles, and that would set up this a little bit later on in the fourth quarter. It's a handoff to Brendan Mikesell, who gets Zionsville on the board finally. I think the Colts are safe. Still a fun night, though, at Zionsville on homecoming. HSC wins 35-21. Look, don't sleep on the Royals when you look at teams that could compete for the 6A crown. After a loss to Carmel in the first game of the season, they rolled off 5 straight wins. They'll host Noblesville next week. Dave?
Michael, thanks. Several Southside teams have separated themselves, including Shelbyville. The Bears 5-0 heading into Week 6 at Greenwood, making a run at 4-1. Dave Merritt has more.
We start in Greenwood. The Woodmen striking first. Brandon Rosada runs it in for the touchdown. The Woodmen would get right back at it again, driving, but this time the ball pops loose. Isaac Fatigue recovers, rumbles on down to inside the 10. Then the Golden Eagles, the QB rollout. I'll just keep it. Takes it in for the score.
Elliott Charlevoix with a 15-yard carry for a Guerin touchdown.
Guerin Catholic goes on to win 31-21. On to Shelbyville. A lot of points put on the board in the first half. More of the same in the second. First play, third quarter. Dawson Allen chugging along. Takes it 50 yards for the touchdown. But the Golden Bears had the answer. They'd march down using the John Lux to Damon Lux combo. Then they'd go back to it again, this time for the touchdown. Shelbyville wins to stay undefeated on homecoming night. Dave Marin, Friday Football Frenzy.
6-0 Shelbyville. A reminder, find the Frenzy online, all the highlights, scores, plus our pregame features as well. Look for the links on the RTV6 app, theindychannel.com. Back with more after this.